Welcome in, Skylar King alongside Eric Seals here at Illinoisprep, at Eric iPrep, previewing the 6A bracket here. And to me, I think we know the least about these teams that are in 6A.
Yes.
And I think the one team that we found out a lot about is Nazareth.
Yep.
Otherwise, though, you know, there's some 9-0 teams in here like Lamont and Batavia that we don't know that much about. And then there's a bunch of other, you know, in Crete-Monee. And there's some other teams like Richwoods. I think that's one of the things that I've seen this year is Richwoods was in 5A last year, now they're in 6A.
Yep.
They made a deep run. Providence, who didn't make the playoffs last year but is always a threat, would have been in 6A last year, now they're in 7A.
Yep.
And so that multiplier went into effect for some of the private schools. Richwoods obviously is public, but I think that's something to look for. When we pretty much agreed on who was going to win first-round matchups here.
Yep.
The second round, our big point of contention is I've got the Knights on a roll, won conference after starting, you know, rough stretch against Washington, Pekin, and Joliet Catholic. They're 6-3, and they're going to get to host Crete-Monee in round 2, and I've got the Knights advancing over undefeated Crete.
And I got Crete-Monee in this game. I think the thing that is going to be the big thing in this game is going to be two different styles of play. Okay, the way Crete plays the game there is a fast team. They pass the ball a lot, and Richwoods, I don't think they see that much. And so the thing that Richwoods is going to have to get used to is those secondary guys are going to have to, you know, they're going to be moving a lot. The thing for Crete, though, is that's different for up here is down there, football is definitely more followed. And everybody is going to be at that game.
Yep.
Everybody's going to be down there. So being in that atmosphere, traveling down to Peoria will definitely make a small difference in this game. But I have Crete going in this game in the second round.
I just can't believe he's going against his Eric Seals All-Star, Kendrick Foster. Good for $150 and 2 scores.
I know he's
week.
going to do that.
Oh, man. You know, you try and help some people. Anyway, let's take a look at the quarters like we did in 5A. In that top quarter, I've got Lamont and Richards.
Me too.
And I've got number 1 seed Lamont advancing to the semis.
Yep.
That second quarter, again, we talked about our disagreement. I've got Richwoods Danville. Mm-hmm. You have Crete Danville.
Crete.
I've actually got Richwoods advancing past Danville into the semis.
And I have Danville beating Crete.
So lot of faith in the downstate teams from Mr. Seals and I here.
Yeah.
Batavia and Antioch in that third quarter.
And I got Lakeville over them.
But I've got Batavia also advancing to the semis.
Me too.
And then at the bottom there, I mean, maybe, depending on how it plays out, a quarterfinal that we might have to get to, Prairie Ridge, Nazareth.
That's going to be a good game.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
And I've got the Roadrunners advancing.
Yep.
So we have a semifinal. I've got Lamont Richwoods. Eric has Lamont
Danville.
Danville. And then we both have Batavia and Nazareth.
Yep.
And then I've got a Lamont Nazareth final.
And I have a Nazareth Danville final.
Look at you and Danville.
Danville, man. You know, do some research on Danville.
Danville, send this guy a T-shirt. Look at this.
I could use a Danville T-shirt.
Right? And then, but I've got the Roadrunners taking home a state title.
Yeah, we both have that. I think, you know, seeing how they played this year, being in the conference with multiple levels of different classes teams, they show that they can play. And kind of like what we said back in the 5A, there's not that many teams that have someone in the same conference as an 8A, 7A, 6A, and 5A as well. And not just any teams, but dominant teams. And so Nazareth showing that they're a team to contend with, or that's going to be contending with everybody this year. I think anybody who goes against them is going to have a hard time in 6A.
Mm-hmm. I think, one, you know, let's change their name to Addison Driscoll. I'm telling. I mean, the coaching.
I don't think they want that.
Right. No. It hasn't happened overnight, but the coaching job that's been done with this program to get them to this stage. I mean, we talked about the conference that they're in.
Yep.
You know, you could be a really good team, just like Providence, you know, last year. And when you're in a conference like the Blue and the East Suburban, you know, you could easily go 4-5 and be a good football team.
Oh, and the thing to think about is looking at all those teams in that conference, we're starting to talk about maybe the second best conference in the state of Illinois now.
Yeah.
I mean definitely. We more likely know it's going to be a private conference,
right?
A private Catholic conference, and they are looking real good this year.
I mean, despite that, you pick more so of Joliet Catholic, Hilltoppers, always one of the most dangerous programs in the state.
Oh yeah,
Marist, maybe the best passing game in the state now that they've spent the last couple weeks. Carmel, you know,
It just does not stop. That's a dangerous conference right there.
And I mean, when you look at the depth, arguably Nazareth, those top four might be better than what the Blue has depth wise
this year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This
year.
And I mean, obviously Loyola's up there as our best team in the state. But
exactly.
So when you other than Prairie Ridge, I think that one is talking about Prairie Ridge, a 22-21 loss in Week 9 against Crystal Lake South.
That's huge.
Otherwise, maybe they're up where Lamont is on the opposite side of the bracket from Nazareth.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, probably where Batavia is.
Yeah.
And then, Nazareth and Batavia have to play, and Prairie Ridge has the easier road. I mean, because when you look at that, Batavia, I'd probably be shocked if they didn't make the semis.
And that's the thing, looking at, where everybody is placed, it's unfortunate, but realistically, some teams have a much easier route than others do. And it's how this.
It'll be like that as long as they tie themselves more to geography than who actually the best teams are.
And that's the way that the IHSA has done it for several years. I know right before I got into high school, it was 1 through 32.
Right.
And that makes that we like that system better just because, it's a true representation of who should be playing who in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think an interesting first round game to go backwards, Lamont Morgan Park.
Yeah.
Morgan Park, a school that's got the athletes, and if they're able to jump out early and get some confidence, that might be, when you look at the higher seeded teams, that might be the toughest first round matchup.
Well, because Morgan Park, if they can quickly put some points up on you.
I mean, you talked about the speed of Crete Monee.
Yep.
Morgan Park might be the fastest team in 6A. And then, again, we both had Richards over Hyde Park. We didn't. I mean, again, and this sort of goes, Hyde Park's a 2, Richards is a 7.
Yeah.
But that's one of those, Richards is a program
that's
been so successful over the years, and just not a team that you want to see, even if you get to play them at home.
Exactly.
Prairie Ridge, same sort of deal. Prairie Ridge plays Marmion. Marmion made it to the state championship game last year.
Yep.
Now, Marmion sort of had the kind of path,
the easier path
that Batavia does to the semis this year. On the other side, Rockford Boylan, who's the eventual state champion, is knocking everybody off. And to me, that's what Nazareth is going to be doing on that lower half, knocking everybody off. Lamont, gets it up top there. That quarterfinal game with Richards, probably going to be tougher than people think. And then, some combination of probably Danville, Crete, Richwoods, not going to be an easy game. But when you look at Nazareth having to go through not only Prairie Ridge, but then an undefeated Batavia team, that's got. But again,
it's a tough road.
Nazareth is prepared for a tough road because of what they did all year.
Yeah, and that's why you want to be in a better conference. You don't want to be in a conference where you
get hit for the first time in the playoffs.
Exactly,
and you're
because
shell-shocked.
you're going to be it's going to be quickly over. You start thinking about the end of your season, and that's not where you want to be. A quick shout out to my alma mater, Glenbard South.
Yes, sir.
Got to do it. You made the 6A playoffs. Seeded 10. They're going to go up against Chicago Foreman. And I have them going to the second round, so I definitely hope to see my Raiders make it to the second round and hopefully continue past that point because I'm always going to support them.
Keep it within a couple touchdowns against Prairie Ridge.
We'll get there. When we get there, we'll talk about it. But if we, because I do have them matched up, if we can get to that game, I will definitely be. I'll be wearing my Raider gear.
So we both have Nazareth playing Prairie Ridge and Batavia. One of those two games more likely for them to trip up on?
Between Prairie Ridge and Batavia?
Yeah.
I think between those two, I don't know.
See, I would say Prairie Ridge because that's a program that the past couple of years has been there, has made some deep runs, and they know how to react when they get punched in the mouth. Batavia hasn't, the last couple of years, hasn't had that sort of history.
I'm trying to think of what team is, like, between Prairie Ridge and Batavia, what's most opposite of what they play in their conference.
Yeah.
But then you start thinking about that, they played every type of team in their conference.
Nazareth. Yeah, obviously, Joliet Catholic power run, Marist, big passing game, Carmel power run.
Yeah, so realistically, they've seen everything.
They're prepared. So, Roadrunners,
please make us look right.
From beginning of the year, everyone probably thought fourth in conference to possibly 6A state champions. Definitely, in our opinion, the 6A favorites.
Without a doubt.
Next time, 7A. Come and see it. For Eric, I'm Skylar, and come back on IllinoisPrep.com.